At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please direct your attention to our nation's flag as we honor America with the playing for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to the Palace on the Bluff with Chelsea.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Bluff for a West Coast Conference matchup between the St. Mary's Gales and the Portland Pilots. The Pilots enter 1-2 in conference play after falling to Pepperdine and Pacific in back-to-back losses, while the Gales enter at 1-3 with their most recent loss to Gonzaga on Thursday. I'm Brian Slyke. I'm joined by Carly Dumana to my side, and we'll have this afternoon's call for you. The Pilots, they're a young squad shaping their future, while the Gales, that team carries 6 seniors. They're trying to climb up the conference ladder. So, Carly, it looks like we could have a fun match on our hands. What are you looking for out of these two?
Well, I personally want to see a little bit more enthusiasm and excitement, which I saw in the Gonzaga game with Portland, but I felt like they were a little flat coming out last match. So I'm looking forward to a hard-fought battle and just a lot of energy on the court.
Well, the Gales carry themselves defensively at the net, and they can change the momentum of a match, and not many do it better than Jennifer Boo-Laird, Carly.
Yes, she is actually one of the keys to their defense with 61 blocks, and they utilize her a lot in their offense as well, being the third in kills and aces. And at 5'11", she is very effective and has lots of hang time, so she will be very exciting to watch.
Meanwhile, the Pilots, they've got plenty of new faces on the squad, but lately Emma Sweat has made herself known on the court.
Yes, she's originally recruited as a middle blocker, but has been swinging outside for the Pilots and has really been a strong offensive option. She has 36 kills so far this season, and the energy that she brings to the court is just what I think the Pilots need right now.
Well, Coach Burton likes to focus on her team and stay on her side of the net. So what are the keys for the Pilots to get a victory against the Gales this afternoon?
Well, first off, they've got to serve tough from the end line, which will then lead to the second key, is getting their opponents out of system, which will then not allow them to get into their offense right away. And also taking care of the ball and serve receive is going to be huge so that they can utilize all of their offense and set all of their hitters.
Well, those are your keys. Let's get you the starting lineup for St. Mary's. You'll get Ashley Reed, Megan Chandler, Holly Harrer, Trinity Durfee, Kelsey Knudsen, Ella Sant, and Jennifer Boo-Laird starting for the Gales. And now for your Pilots out there starting, it's going to be Gianna Lawson, Jade Harris, Nevaeh Bray, Alyssa Murioka, Nolani Helm, Grace Silbert, and Chelsea Harmon. And let's talk about something else that is changing now that we are in conference play. The challenge rules taking place in the WCC. And it's a bit different from the non-conference. Non-conference, you were able to have 3 challenges per match, and it changes once you get into conference play. Now it's down to 2 per match. If it goes to a 5th set, the teams both receive an extra challenge. If you are correct on your initial challenge, you get to keep it going forward. If you're wrong, you lose it. Nice.
That makes a huge difference. I mean, before, when you had a bad call that could really change the momentum of the game. And now there's a little bit of reprieve, and I feel like, you know, the refs don't have as much of an impact when it comes to that type of a bad call or things like that, or they missaw something. It's nice to have that coach's input to fix a bad caller.
Well, the Gales are going to be wearing their navy tops with the red sleeves. Their coach is Rob Browning in his 17th season, a BYU graduate back in 1990. The assistant coaches for the Gales, Mandy Bible and Albert Ahedo. Meanwhile, for the Pilots, they're out there in white. The head coach, Megan Burton, in her second season. On her bench is Dylan Hamilton and Evan Lee. And the Pilots trying to regroup after a tough loss against Pacific, after a sweep against Gonzaga. And these two teams have already both played Gonzaga. The Gales fell 3-1 on Thursday. Meanwhile, the Pilots swept Gonzaga in what was a well-done match by them, not creating any errors and letting Gonzaga hurt themselves more than anything.
Yes. And like I said, it was their home game opener, and the crowd was just into it, and you could see the Pilots were really enthusiastic, and I hope to see that tonight.
Murioka back to serve, the freshman from Honolulu, Hawaii. 2 aces on the season. Serving deep into zone 1, and the tip from Laird falls. The first point goes to the Gales.
Sometimes a perfectly placed ball, you know, can get a kill for your team.
Now Jennifer Laird back to serve, the senior from San Luis Obispo, California. Terrific out of the middle, 61 blocks on the season so far. 9 of those are solo blocks. Harris unable to get a clean receive off of that serve, and she's aced. Laird back to serve again. Now makes 10 aces on the season, make it 11 after Harris gets aced again, and the Gales out to an early 3-0 lead. This was something that you and I were talking about before this match started, was how was Jade Harris going to rebound after a tough passing performance against Pacific, and the Gales already keying in on her. She'll go high off the block this time. Error with the swing on that one. Harris goes off the block. Staying with it was Sant. And out of bounds. Point to the Gales. Four 4-0 lead now. Laird into the net, and the Pilots now on the board, and you have to wonder if that was going to get that lead to 5 or 6, then maybe Coach Burton might call a timeout, but the ace coming just when they needed it, as Grace Zilbert now back to serve. Local product, a junior from Portland, Oregon, went to Lincoln High School. Error, the bump pass, swinging high, no touch on the block. Ashley Reed comes up empty. Pilots picking up their second point. Zilbert is more of their serving special. She's got 14 aces on the season, leading the Pilots. The back set to Harrer, high off the block. Murioka staying with it. Deep swing by Bray, and that's past the end line, out of bounds. Thompson in, Harrer to the bench, Sant to the bench, and Selby Christensen will come out onto the court. And they seem to make their changes too quickly. The referee having them come back.
Gotta wait for those officials.
The up ref in today's contest, Lisa Walter. The down ref, Marcia Costley. The line judges, Gregory Clark and Kelly Damianou. And the scorer is Amy Harrison. Alessina Thompson back to serve. Thompson, a senior from Layton, Utah. Great set from Helm to the middle, but better cover by the Gales. Harris cross court, dug up by Knudsen. And that one goes off the pin, out of bounds. The Gales pushing that lead back to 4, 6-2. Thompson second on the team in assists with 220 on the season. Just under 5 assists per set. The roll shot from Harris. Set to the outside. Reed had a nice swing on it. Zilbert was there, and the push by Bray too far past the sideline.
Looks like the Pilots are really trying to search for those kills instead of keeping the ball in play and letting St. Mary's make the mistakes.
And after Bray with a couple of errors, Paloma Bowman will check in for her, now swinging in the front row. That was something we saw in the last match, but a beautiful serve right there by Thompson, completely dropping out right in front of the passer. And Coach Burton not liking what she's seen. Her team down by 6. She calls a timeout, which means we'll be back inside the Child Center in just a minute. 8-2, Gales lead on the WCC Network. Olosina Thompson back to serve for the Gales, an 8-2 lead after the timeout called by Coach Burton and the Pilots. And the Gales currently on a 4-0 run. And they've got 3 aces so far.
Which is huge.
Back out to Harris. Tried the deep push. And the kill for Christensen on the right side. The deflection off the block, landing on the Pilot side, 9-2. Bowman, Lawson, and Harris swinging for the Pilots. And Harris aced again. That's her 3rd time. And here comes Charity Bradley. And Jade Harris will head to the bench. Charity Bradley, a grad transfer from Washington State, coming from Murray, Utah. Daughter of former BYU and NBA player Sean Bradley. Bowman able to get there, but the aces continue to fall for the Gales. And that was something that I was watching them practice early on, about 2 hours before today's match. The short serves for the Gales, they were really on point with that, and you saw it right there. 7-0 run. Bradley high, trying to get the hands, no touch.
When you can throw in a short serve and then do a nice jump, deep jump float, you know, it's hard for
get them to creep up and then
yep.
fall back on it.
Definitely keep serve receive on their toes. Like that.
Not a single chance for Murioka. And Thompson, another ace.
And the Child Center is a very open-air gym, so you can have the ball make a lot of little movements when you have a nice jump float.
She's already set a new season high in aces this afternoon. Reed into the block, a touch. Helm got her hand underneath it. Ball still live. Murioka diving to save it. Bradley the high tip, saved by Reed. Into the block. And another block by the Pilots. Lawson and Bradley staying put. And finally, the reign of Thompson is over after she set a new career high in aces, and we're only in the first set.
Glad to get out of that rotation, I think.
Thompson the dump. Lawson was ready for it. And Bradley high off the tape, never got a touch on the other side. Gales point.
That's the right spot. I mean, when they have their off blocker pulling it underneath the block, that right along the net is right open for that defense that the Gales are running right now. So it's a nice idea, but just came up a little short.
McKenna Joyce back to serve for St. Mary's, sophomore from Chico, California. And another ace. Right now, the Gales are using the play of what the Pilots are supposed to be doing to their advantage. 7 aces here in set 1. Couldn't tell if Lawson got a touch on that one. But the Gales are just serving spectacularly right now, as Jade Harris will check back in for Charity Bradley.
You can just see right now on their faces, there's just a little bit of less confidence in their serve receive right now, so I hope they can get it back.
Joyce the float, Zilbert, great pass to start it off, and the tip from Harris. And that'll work out for the Pilots. Emma Sweat, our player to watch for the Pilots in this afternoon's match, will now check in for Alyssa Murioka. And that's something we saw the Pilots do against Pacific, those short roll shots. Harris getting some revenge on that serve, picking up an ace. But the off-speed swinging for the Pilots seemed to be effective. We've seen it a couple of times here so far for Portland.
They just got to look at and see what the defense is giving them.
And a block by Sweat and Lawson.
That's the energy I was talking about, Brian, that she brings to the court. As soon as she came and subbed in, there's been a little energy shift.
Harris back to serve again. Pilots trailing by 10. Out to Chandler. Zilbert with the dig close to the net. Bowman stuck in no man's land right there. Because she's back row, she couldn't break the plane of the net to try to stop it from an overpass. It'll be a Gales ball.
She tried to look like she was trying to just get a little knuckle underneath the net just to tap it over to keep the ball alive, but.
Keilani Mumolo checking in for the Pilots. Back set to Helm. She gets one off the block. Set to the middle, and Laird picking up another kill. Second one so far on the afternoon. She's got 85 of them on the season. It's Kelsey Knudsen, the senior from Santa Clarita, California. The middle to Lawson, she's hanging, but can't get the kill. Christensen into the block, saved by Knudsen. And a terrific play by Megan Chandler, using the block to her advantage, getting the tool off of Nolani Helm, and a point for the Gales. Right now, the Pilots sort of seem flat. Another ace for St. Mary's. And Coach Burton will call a timeout. Her team trailing 20-6 here in set number 1. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Child Center. Set one going all St. Mary's way. They lead 20-6, and the big number, 9 aces for the Gales here in set number 1.
Yeah, they're serving out of their minds, and UP is, I think, just kind of in their heads about it, and they just need to flush those mistakes and get the next pass.
Kelsey Knudsen back to serve. Sweat serving the serve, and she'll get the kill, pushing that one through the block of Laird and Christensen.
Yeah, their setter on defense looks like they're really doing a deep drop line to defend that line shot, so something right over the block, like tool in the block is wide open.
The back set to Christensen, down the line, into the platform of Lawson, unable to get it up. Ollie Harrer checking in for Thompson. And Ella Sant checking in for Selby Christensen. Sant, a sophomore from Western Springs, Illinois. Leading the team in assists this season, 233 coming into today. Set to the middle, Harmon! Off the block, gets the kill.
It's nice to see them take advantage of that great pass by Sweat, and then able to utilize the middle.
Nolani Helm back to serve. Helm, a junior from Walla Walla, Washington. She's taken on a different role this season. The last couple of years, she's been mainly a setter, now playing all the way around and swinging. Here sets the middle to Harmon, and another kill! And that's what happens when you get your passing in motion and in system. You can feed that middle, and Harmon is incredibly effective at swinging. 304 on the season.
She cuts her right across her body. That was beautiful.
And it looked like there was a window between the block as well.
She had options, which is nice.
Set to the middle, Laird hangs! Zilber got a fist on it, but can't pop it up. As McKenna Joyce will head to the bench, Ashley Reed comes out and swings for the Gales. Normal when you think about middles in this West Coast Conference, you're thinking 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" maybe. But Boo Laird, 5'11", she's got the hang time though, and she makes it count. We've seen it a couple of times already as this serve past the end line.
Yeah, when I was looking over at the players and their stats and whatnot, you know, like, wait a second, 61 blocks, and how tall is she? She's the middle blocker?
61 blocks at 5'11". 9 of those are solo blocks. Back set to Harrer, the roll shot. Zilber got a fist on it, off the net, and Helm tries to get a touch, but comes up empty. 23-10, St. Mary's leads here in set 1. Blue Laird now back to serve. Zilber got a touch.
Nice save.
Harris, the short free ball, out of the middle. Durfee almost had the kill. The Pilots on top of it. Long roll shot from Harris. Harrer, deep tip, and a net violation. Looked to be on Chelsea Harmon. So Laird back to serve again. Already 2 aces on the afternoon. Bowman, the deep swing. Harrer, deep cross, and that one is in. Great move by her, too. She didn't try to crash in too early. She stayed behind the ball to get that kill in the deep corner in zone 1, and that will finish off set number 1, 25-10. Gales take set 1. We'll be right back in a few minutes for set number 2 on the WCC Network. All right, welcome back inside the Child Center. Brian Slyke, Carly Dumanin with your call. We're about to start off set number 2. Set number 1, though, was all Gales, 25-10. Here's a look at some of the stats through that one, and the big one, aces, 9 aces to 1. St. Mary's leading that one, and then kills as well. They've been much more efficient on 17 attacks. They've got 9 kills. Meanwhile, Portland, 4 kills, 4 errors on 20 attacks.
Yeah, it was almost that because the passing's not there, so the setting's not there, and then the hitters are trying to like come up with kills, but they, you know, they're stressing and they're trying to push, the line a little too far, so that's where the errors come in.
The one positive right now for the Pilots, we talked about how successful Boo Laird has been with blocking, but the Pilots are leading that category right now, and you'd like to see a bit more of that here in the second set, Carly.
Absolutely.
Well, out on the court, it's Harris, Bowman, Helm, Lawson, Harmon, and Murayoka for the Pilots. It's Laird, Sant, Knudsen, Harrer, and number 2, Ashley Reed, out there for the Gales, and back to serve is Megan Chandler. Chandler, a freshman outside hitter from Syracuse, Utah. 10 kills on the season and an ace. Great pass by Zilbert to start the second set. Harris down the line. She got a touch off the block, though. And the Pilots working with their first lead. Murayoka will head to the bench. Emma Sweat coming back out on the court. And Jade Harris back to serve. Harris has taken on a leadership role for Portland this season. Laird out of the middle. And you see the effectiveness right there.
And she's so explosive. Like you said, being only 5'11", 5'10", she has to be able to create and be so successful in the middle.
Now Laird back to serve. Back set to Helm. Off the block. Sant will have it. Harrer, deep swing, and Mumolo, the right eyes there, letting that one sail past the end line, and the Pilots lead 2-1.
It looked like there's a little bit of miscommunication on the St. Mary's side.
As Trinity Durfee is now the middle blocker. Reed swings, cross, Lawson got a hand on it. But Reed looked like she had some separation in that block and a clear swing.
Yeah, definitely leaving a lot of the court open for their outside hitter.
Sant and Harrer to the bench. Thompson out to serve. And Selby Christensen in the front row. Thompson with 4 aces in that first set, setting a new career high. Sweat, who had the serve, receives, swings into the net this time.
Looked like she was trying to cut along the net to get around that block, but just a little too sharp.
Sweat close to the net, and Bowman couldn't do anything but put up a soft block, flat-footed. She didn't get a touch on it, but it looked like Reed with the kill that time around.
Pilots definitely want to get out of this rotation because this definitely hurt them last game.
Long from Thompson.
Pilots can take a nice deep breath getting out of that. Now let's focus in.
Coach Burton always talks about serving tough from the service line. We'll see if Helm can do that here. Good serve, Thompson, the bump set, the Christensen. Looked like a dome shot off that block. And Bowman tips it in the middle, 2 touches, and Knudsen able to get it over. No block, Bowman with the kill.
Very nice. At first you thought St. Mary's did a great job with that scramble play, but Paloma took care of it.
How about that set from Helm? The middle blocker, Durfee, was going to the outside before the ball even left Helm's hand. Durfee swings off the block, gets the touch and the kill. McKenna Joyce will check in for Ashley Reed.
Shows how much a setter's decision of who she sets can make a huge difference. It totally faked out the middle blocker there. Created a nice gap in the block for Paloma to just hammer away.
Sweat off the block. Knudsen had a touch, and the Gales won't be able to get to it. And that's a point for the Pilots. Murioka will check back in along with Jade Harris. Sweat and Mumolo head to the bench. Alyssa Murioka. Set to the outside. And we've got a touch. Point for the Gales. Megan Chandler will pick up the kill. And the Gales take a 1-point lead as Durfee checks out, Laird back in. Knudsen serving. Back set to Bowman, double block, and out of bounds. Bowman, strong swing, picks up the kill off the block. And that's one of the things that the coaching staff here at Portland was really excited about getting Paloma. You know, she hadn't played indoor for a couple of seasons, but she was playing beach, and you see the ups right there to get that kill. Harris, the powerful swing. Knudsen got her forearm on it. Set to the outside to Harris again, off the tape, and rolls down the net and out of bounds. Unfortunate.
Yeah, again, great idea, just so unlucky. The net was unforgiving there.
Holly Harrer and Ella Sant checking back in. Thompson and Christensen to the bench. Sant back to serve. 6 aces coming in on the day. And now you can count a 7th one for her on the season. That is now the 10th ace for the Gales, and 9 of them in the first set. Murioka the pass, Bowman the tip in the middle of the court.
Nice.
And that's the mixing up of the off speed and the powerful swings we've seen from Bowman and Harris, and that time it works out.
Yeah, it looked like St. Mary's defense was sucking in, ready for a tip right over the block, but she decided to go right into that donut area is what I like to call it.
You call it donut, I call it campfire. Tomato, tomato. Laird out of the middle into the block of Lawson and Helm. Chandler a roll shot. Bowman will get the first touch. And high off the block, Helm picking up the kill.
All right, now it looks like the right side sets are where Portland's getting their kills.
Bowman serving.
There's
Grad transfer from UC Davis. Picks up an ace. And that's what Coach Burton's looking for out of that back line.
Hopefully they can capitalize on this momentum.
Pilots lead by 1. That's a 3 pass down the line. Murioka in the right spot. Can't pop it up though. Ashley Reed will check back in. McKenna Joyce to the bench. Megan Chandler back to serve. Chandler with that kill right there, and that's something that the Gales have done a good job of mixing it down the line and crosses so far. Fantastic pass, the tip from Lawson out of the middle. Knudsen the save on the block. Laird the tip. Lawson went up originally. It looked like Harris was still down. She got the tip over the block. Zilbert the high bumps at Helm, swinging aggressively cross court. Great up by Zilbert. Bowman pushes it. Helm the roll shot. Herer, deep shot, that's in the court. Some confusion from the line ref.
Yeah.
Called touch, clearly in the court though. And the Gales working with a 2-point lead. Harris, Helm, and Lawson swinging for the Pilots. Right side to Harris. Centers out. And the tip over the block. Murioka gets a fist on it.
Love that hustle play.
Herer hard cross off the block. Bowman thought she had a beat on it, took a redirection. A 4-0 run currently for St. Mary's. Off the side of the hand, it looked like.
Yeah, like, that's really short.
Murioka to the bench. Emma Sweat coming out. Former Washington Gatorade State Player of the Year. From Woodland, Washington. Sant, the back set to Herer down the line. That's one of the difficulties of going off a left-handed swing on the right side. She just turned down the line.
And she's hit one deep cross-court corner. She's done one right over the block, and now she's done one over the line. So she's really doing a nice job of mixing it up where she's hitting.
Lawson out of the middle. That one finds the corner.
They must have heard me. Deep corner shot, open.
And again, it all starts with that passing. Now Lawson moving over. She's been serving on the near side of the court. Now she's on the far side. Going after Reed. Another back set into Herer. And the middle. Trinity Durfee ready for that one on the overpass.
You know, as you go back and serve, a lot of the times people will serve an area, but a lot of times they're keying in on a certain player that they want to pick on. Perhaps that's what she was doing.
Sweat will take the center down the net. Chelsea Harmon picking up the kill. That's Harmon's third kill on 4 attacks.
Yeah, if I'm a setter, I wanted to go to that hot hitter, bring up my assist stats.
Helm, the deep float serve. Chandler didn't stand a chance. The bench gets in on the action.
That's the enthusiasm and energy that I wanted to see.
Pilots trail by 1 here in set number 2. Pass by Chandler. Thompson to Christensen. Lumo with a high bump set for Sweat. Christensen cross court. Mumolo popping it up. Sweat through the block and down for the kill. Freshman has really been showing up the last couple of home matches for the Pilots.
Absolutely, and she just threaded that one right at the seam of the block, it looked like. But a great up right there.
Yeah, you'll get a great look at it right here.
Oh yes, totally attacking that seam. Looking like the middle blocker was just a little bit late and didn't close that block.
Reed trying to go line this time off the pin and out of bounds. And that'll bring us to a immediate timeout. Portland leading by 1, 15-14 here in set number 2. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Nolani Helm back to serve. The junior from Walla Walla, Washington. Pilots leading by 1 here in set number 2. The tip, that one went on the other side of the pin and out of bounds, 16-14. This is where you'd like to see the Pilots try to make a run, make up for that first set.
Yeah, string a couple points together.
Christensen goes off the block, and Sweat thought she was going for it, saw Mumowo in the corner of her eye, and they both stopped in their tracks.
Right, that hesitation, just, you hate to see that. Rather see both of them crossing each other and both going for the ball.
McKenna Joyce serving. Helm pushes this one to the outside. Bowman with the tip. Back to Bowman on the outside, into the block, out of bounds. Good eyes from Mumowo. She was there to cover near the sideline, saw it was going out, kept her hands away as Murioka checking back in. Mumowo and Sweat to the bench. As Harris will come out back onto the court.
It's nice to see some of those beach-style kills, you know, tooling off of that block from Paloma.
An elbow on it. Oh! Unable to get to it. Good effort, though, from Helm and Harmon. And Paloma Bowman, for that matter. Trying to get that third touch. Elsie Knudsen. 16 digs in their last match and the loss against Gonzaga. Bowman, powerful swing right into the platform of Thompson. No touch on that one. That never got over the tape. Pilots working with a 2-point lead, and look at the blocks now. Now it's 3-0 in favor of Portland. St. Mary's, normally a sure-handed blocking team. Out of the middle to Laird. High off the block. Bowman has a touch on it. A high bump pass by Zilbert. A roll shot from Harris. Dump. And the scrappy play. Reset. Into the block. Knudsen has it. Overpass. Harris goes for it off the block. Helm getting a fist on it. Harris the tip. Murioka covering. Bowman on the roll shot. Great set by Knudsen. Zilbert chasing it down. And Harris sends a short free ball over. Laird goes for it. Zilbert ready for it. And Christensen with the swipe ends the rally.
That was a long one.
Wow, Zilbert running all over the court, and I'm still amazed by the set by Knudsen right there. As the libero, having to stay behind that 10-foot line, delivered a perfect set to the right side.
Yeah, so just some great defensive plays, keeping the ball up. Great one-handed dig right there. Oh.
And then Christensen, the one-handed swipe just inside to keep it in. Coach Burton thought that Knudsen might have been in front of that 10-foot line. That 10-foot line can be a tricky beast sometimes.
You know, I think we were kind of talking about backrow attacks the other day, whether you could have a foot on the line or a little bit over, or what did you find out? I forget. You
can have it on the line. It cannot go over the line in any capacity, even the smallest sliver. You are considered over. Now, off the initial look, it seemed like Knudsen was behind that 10-foot line, and they ended up giving the point to St. Mary's right there. Murioka, the pass, the back set to Bowman, and the solo block on the far side by Chandler. All notched up at 18 here in set number 2. St. Mary's 1-3 in conference. They started with a buzzsaw going up against BYU and San Diego. Harris hitting the tool this time around, and the Pilots back up by 1. last two squads that Portland has faced, Pacific and now St. Mary's, both started off playing BYU and San Diego, two top 25 programs. BYU now in the top 10. The Chandler into the block, Lawson and Harris. That's the fourth block now for the Pilots. I don't disagree with the set from Sant there. With her falling backwards, it's tough to push it all the way across the court. An easy set on the right side, but the blocking from the Pilots has been on point. Push to the outside, Harrer off the block. Zilbert stays with it. High, deep swing, no touch.
Looked like she was looking for some high hands there, but not, a little too high.
Joyce out, and Ashley Reed in. And correction, now we've got the down referee, Marcia Costley, talking with Coach Burton.
Like there's gonna be a challenge?
I didn't see a card pulled out, maybe you did.
I've got
the up ref in my way, so I couldn't quite tell what.
I thought I saw Megan have it behind her back and then she pulled it out.
And they are challenging the last play.
Thinking maybe there was a touch on them?
I think that's what Coach Burton's going for.
Okay.
So right now the Pilots lead by one, 20-19. And here's a look at some of the challenge rules. Now that we're in conference play, it originally started at 3, now it's down to 2 challenges per match. If you get it correct, you keep that challenge. If you don't, you lose it. If it goes to a 5th set, both teams receive an extra challenge. And this will be interesting what they do. And they called a touch, so Helm will get the kill. And it had to have been on the block on the far side.
Right, I mean, it looked like it was, the trajectory of the ball was so high and so far out that.
Take a look at that replay.
Yeah.
And now we will have a change. Kristen Irwin will check in for Megan Chandler.
You could say good call for Coach Megan just to keep that challenge and the ball back.
And now the Pilots lead 21-18, 4 points away from taking set number 2. Kristen Irwin is now checked in for the Gales. Most likely be swinging on the right side with Laird still in as the middle blocker. Harrer the tip, Bowman had a touch, and Lawson got a second hand on it, but the Pilots unable to push it over the net. Back within 2 are the Gales. Ashley Reed checking in for McKenna Joyce. Megan Chandler going back to serve for St. Mary's. Much different set this time around than what we saw in the first set when it was 25-10 St. Mary's. Short serve. Harris, good pass on that time around. Helm into the block, stays on the Pilot side. Correction, they gave that one to the Pilots.
Did it roll along to their side? It's hard to see this.
My eye, it looked like it landed on Portland's side, but now we're having a discussion between the down ref and the up ref. And they are going to give it to St. Mary's now. As you might see on the right side of your screen, Noani Helm talking with the up ref and Coach Burton now talking with the down ref about that last play. From what I saw, it looked like there was a swing, but it never made it over on St. Mary's side and landed on Portland's side.
Oh, I thought it came off of the block, but I could not see from my angle where it landed on the court, whether it was on.
Well, here's a look at it right here.
Oh, it's definitely off the block. And out of bounds.
And out of bounds, no, that should have been Portland's ball. With the up ref, it looked like it went into the tape initially, and now we're gonna have what I can only guess is another challenge from Coach Burton, which I think she should win off of that replay.
Yeah, from that angle, it clearly looked like it went off of the middle blocker's outside hand and then out of bounds.
It took a completely different direction on where she was swinging. Here's one more look at it. Good push by Bowman.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, off the side of her arm, and it,
I don't think it was near the net at all, in my opinion.
and then seeing
Could be biased.
It looked just outside of that sideline. And I'm wondering if they're possibly going to get a zoom in on that to see if it made any type of touch on that sideline. Now remember, in volleyball, similar to tennis,
Yes.
any tiny part of the ball touches that line, it is considered in. If only we had the graphics of like a Wimbledon where they've have the shadow of where the ball hit
Yes.
on the line.
Oh my gosh. How times have changed.
And right now you've got the Portland bench staring at the screen trying to see it, and she's looking at the net angle on the down ref side. And looking at the replay, it looked like it clearly went off the inside arm of the middle blocker.
Or of St. Mary's.
So Burton could go 2 for 2 and keep both of her challenges right now.
Yeah.
She's already 1 for 1 on the match. And it looks like she's, on that last one, she's telling him to cut a bit more on the swing, it looked like. What have been the biggest changes that you've seen so far in set number 2 compared to set number 1 with Portland? It just seemed like the passing wasn't really there. Has it changed so much, or are they just getting more on top of it now?
I think hopefully that Portland's starting to relax and not tense up so much. I feel like St. Mary's was serving out of their minds and just mixing it up, short ball, deep float, short ball, and just keeping them on their heels. And now I feel like it's evened out a little bit as far as their serving, and Portland's tending to take care of the ball a little bit more, so they're able to get into their offense. And look right there.
And there we go, Burton 2 for 2 in today's match. They're picking up that point. As Boo Laird and Ella Sant trying to get an understanding of what happened. I think they thought the ball was in, and that's what they're trying to figure out. There was no official call from the down referee yet. Usually she'll point to one side and give out a touch.
Sure.
Just to reiterate, helm swung, looked like it went off the inside arm of the middle blocker, redirected just out of bounds on the Portland side though, so that's why there's that confusion where St. Mary's thought that the ball was in. But it will be Pilot's point. Now they're back up by 3, 22-19. Jade Harris back to serve. That could be an overpass, saved by Sant. Sweat pushes it into the block, out of bounds, and point for the Pilots.
Harris did a nice job of dealing with that attack. Great pass to the setter, and Sweat did a nice job of tooling that block.
Freshman has shown some nice poise out on the court. Harrer with the tip, Sweat unable to get a hand on it. And that'll fall for a point. Mumoa will check in for Jade Harris in the back row. Sweat, Lawson, and Helm swinging for the Pilots. Boo Laird back to serve. Lawson out of the middle with the kill near the back line.
Her team was definitely excited about that play.
Lawson back to serve. Set point. Pilots lead by 4. They trail 1 set to nothing. Out of the middle, Bowman with an elbow on it. Helm the roll shot, Reed pops it up. Harrer, tough shot into the block. Bump pass by Mumoa, Helm the hard cross. And that one will go out of bounds, 24-21 now, Portland leading. You know, she was brought into the court so much right there. I'm wondering if maybe she possibly could have had something on the near side of the block, closer to the pin down the line with how far she was brought in, but a timeout called. It's 24-21, St. Mary's calling the timeout. The Pilots leading in set number 2, trying to even up the match here inside the Child Center on the WCC Network. Pilots within 1 point of taking set number 2. Holly Harrer set to serve for St. Mary's. The Gales trailing 24-21 after winning set 1, 25-10. Mumolo, the dime pass, the back set to Helm. She'll finish it off. That's why she's swinging this year.
Yes, and that's why they have to take care of the ball right there in serve receive. Good things happen when you pass well at a serve receive.
The Pilots take set 2, 25-21. We're even up at 1 as we head to set 3. We'll be back in about 5 minutes on the WCC Network. One more look at Helm and the kill.
Look at that hole.
Welcome back inside the Child Center. Nolani Helm with the big kill to end set number 2, 25-21. And that was the big difference between sets 1 and sets 2. Portland, 4 kills, 4 errors in set number 1. And then in set number 2, they completely changed it around. 16 kills, 5 errors. And that ended up being the difference. And then you look at St. Mary's. In the first set, 9 aces. And then in the second set, Portland really cleaned it up, only 1 ace that time around, and then the blocking category right now. Portland leading 4 blocks to 1, and that may not seem like a lot, but that plays a huge confidence booster for your side of the net.
Absolutely, I'd say the serving gods kind of swung in favor of Portland there.
About to start set number 3, Bowman back to serve, Zilbert, Murioka, Helm, Lawson, and Harris starting out for the Pilots. Sant to Laird, and the block from Helm and Lawson. Reed with the swing, Murioka with the dig. Harris, not enough mustard on it to pop it over the net. And the first point goes to St. Mary's.
Murioka was there, just a little too tight for the setter to get a good set out to Harris.
Knudsen to the bench. Trinity Durfee out on the court now for the Gales. Durfee, Reed, Harrer, Sant, Joyce, and Laird are on the court right now for St. Mary's. Paloma Bowman drying off a portion of the court. There's a lot of talent on this St. Mary's team right now. We've been talking about Boo Laird, but this other middle form, Trinity Durfee. Lawson gets a tip, no touch from Laird. And that'll even up set number 3. Durfee is a high-profile recruit, former All-American and All-Region team. She comes from California, just a sophomore. Harris trying to go with the float serve into zone 4, comes up short.
Looked like she was serving Durfee to try to take her out of offensive play, maybe.
Sant and Harrer to the bench. Thompson coming out to the floor along with Krishna Erland. Thompson had 4 aces in that first set. Scrappy play from the Gales keeps it alive. Great pass from Zilbert as she falls to the ground. Helm tips into the block. Bowman can't get a hand on it. St. Mary's taking a 2-point lead. Both of these teams are pretty similarly matched right now stat-wise, both with 63 attacks. St. Mary's has just been more effective, and the joust single-handedly won by Lawson. Great block by Lawson right there.
Love getting the crowd involved as well.
I don't think people realize how impressive that is. 2 blockers going up, and she only went up with 1 hand right there.
Yes.
And Bowman?
No, he says rejected.
I think Coach Browning is wondering if she broke the plane of the net as she was trying to set that ball and stay on this side, but that also depends on if St. Mary's touched it.
True.
And I think that's what Coach Browning was trying to argue, but he won't get his way this time. He sits back down. Lawson back to serve. Fantastic pass by Knudsen. That should be a double right there, and that's exactly what they call on Thompson.
Okay, that didn't look so good. Didn't quite come out of her hands correctly.
People have always asked me, how can you tell it's a double, like almost right? You just know. You see how it comes out, and it's not clean. And if you listen close enough, sometimes you can hear the double tap out of it as Lawson serves this one into the net.
Doesn't look right, doesn't sound right.
Also, if there's a lot of rotation on the set, usually that's a dead giveaway. As Christensen comes onto the court, back to serve is Ashley Reed. Reed, a freshman from Mesa, Arizona. I'm a sweat calling that one out early, but calling it out wrong. Is that one in? And another ace for the Gales.
Maybe she had a mean curve on that serve.
Back-to-back aces. So 12 aces now for the Gales. Set to the outside to Sweat through the block.
There's some good redemption right there after getting caught off guard on a serve-receive ball.
And she's done that a couple of times. Looks like she split the block again.
Yes. I love that determination where like you get a bad pass, but you make up for it with a kill.
Great float from Helm. Thompson from the 10-foot line. A big block from Sweat and Harmon. That's an overpass. And Harmon will get the kill. Bit unorthodox, pushing it straight back with both hands.
Yeah.
But you'll take that point any way you get it.
Well, it looked like St. Mary's was all sucked in to try to like handle that scramble play, and so there was a lot of court open. She just needed to get it over the net.
I will say Harmon in the past has been really good about swiping to each side, so I'm not surprised seeing St. Mary's get close to the net on that type of an overpass. And some talking between the coaches on the other side, Coach Burton and Coach Browning. The back set, and Zilbert staying with it off the touch off the block. Sweat, the tip behind the block. Thompson got her hand underneath it, but the fist unable to pop it up.
Yeah, you can see the setter on St. Mary's is dropping back, real deep line, and so that tip right over the block is wide open. Usually their off blocker kind of takes something like that, but having to just go directly over the block.
6-all in set number 3. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Emma Sweat slowly making a name for herself on the Bluff. She's got 6 kills in today's match, closing in on her career high of 8 that she set in the non-conference play against Grand Canyon. Making 7 kills.
Yeah.
She caught the line on the sideline.
I think we saw Coach Megan talking about cutting those balls, just kind of edge around the block, and looks like she's listened to coach.
And yeah, you see the hand drop that thumb down.
Yeah, that's nice.
And count it, the Pilots taking a 2-point lead. And they're currently on a 5-0 run here in set number 3. Helm, she leads this team in assists, second in kills. She's already surpassed her kill mark from the previous season. Sets this one to Sweat, picking up her 8th kills, tying her career high.
You can hear her calling for the ball. She wanted the setter to set her. I always used to say, the noisiest hitter gets the ball. You could hear her yelling for it.
Helm into the net, not happy with that one.
Looks like both teams have had several short serves fall into the net. They're really trying to attack that short, deep ball. Very aggressive.
Kelsey Knudsen serving. Great pass by Helm, getting a high ball. Zilbert with the cover. And Sweat, another kill! 9 kills now. She sets a new career high. And she gets thanked with a little bit of R&R on the bench after that one, picking up her 9th kill in today's match. Another look. And you see how she came in, the blocker didn't go out, and she was able to cut that on the line side of that block.
Yeah, that's a hard angle to hit. Ooh.
Kill for St. Mary's by Selby Christensen. And Holly Harrer now checking in. Thompson to the bench, along with number 5, Kristen Irwin. As Ella Sant comes out to serve. The back set to Bowman. She tips it. Harrer's out of the play. And Bowman had the touch as she was coming down on the block.
Those are really hard to defend, where it's like it's just barely over the block, right behind her head, but she wanted just to hang a little bit longer to try to get a touch on that.
We were always taught to let the person behind us to take it. That way you didn't redirect it, but it's so hard. You're right there. It's right in your grasp.
Yes.
Harris with the kill! Jade Harris usually leading this team in kills. That's only her 4th one of the afternoon, and she did it with some authority that time.
Yeah, she saw the hole in that block and she attacked it.
That one is in. Lawson and Harrison on the block. And Gianna Lawson has just been such a great pickup for this Pilots team. Somebody who verbally committed to Oregon State, never signed that national letter of intent. Came here to UP, and she's got the hang time, and Zilbert with the ace. But Lawson is just such a factor out of the middle. And
so athletic, so much energy, and she's explosive.
And her team feeds off of it. She gets the block. She's the first one screaming. Her teammates react to that. Set to the middle to Laird, into the block. And the rare triple block.
Yes.
And somehow Laird able to get a point out of it. 13-10, Pilots lead. Christensen back to serve for the Gales. Lawson, Harris, and Bowman swinging for the Pilots. Back set to Paloma. Bowman deep cross, no touch on that one. And that'll go towards the Gales.
Portland wants to get that service seat pass a little closer to the net to make it easier for their setter to make a nice set for their hitters. There we go.
Pass by Harris. Gets the feed back in the touch. Sant got her hand on it. In the back right corner.
It's like Helm rewarded her. Thank you for that good pass. I will give you a beautiful set for you to put down.
It's usually how the chemistry goes, right? Yeah, you got the nice pass. I'll give it back to you.
Exactly.
Knudsen to Laird. And she's just so effective. She's not even swinging most of the time, but she sees where the block is in midair and just tips around it.
Yes, she's got good court awareness on the other side of the net. She looks where the seams are, where the holes are. The open court, and finds it.
Lawson, Harrison, Helm swinging now. Zilbert with the serve receive. And that's a double called on Paloma Bowman. I like the idea. She was trying to make a different set. Normally she'd push that out to the pin, but tried to go right side. But a tough position for her. She was almost, her back almost directly to the net. Laird getting an ace. That's her third. And that's been a common theme in the first set. And what we've seen here in the third set, they're picking on Jade Harris, passing in that back row, and they go back to her. Zilbert will take this one, though. Lawson out of the middle. High off the block, Murioka got a hand on it, Well, the Pilots can't get to it. The Gales take a 1-point lead. And it looks like Coach Burton, Lawson swung straight into the middle instead of picking a side. And Coach Burton wants her young middle to choose sides on that one. That's an overpass. Set back up. Feed Harris again. The coverage, but out of bounds. And the Gales now working with a 2-point lead. You didn't see it on screen right there, but just now the Pilots, normally you see them gather up after every single point. A quick 1-2, we're out, but that time they took the extra second, talking with each other and trying to get out of this rotation. The tip by Harris, and the off speed works for the Pilots. Knudsen back in for Laird.
What I like to see there is she really sold that swing. Like she went in and she hid that arm swing until the last second and slowed it down and tipped it right over the block.
Free ball put over. The outside, the tip by Helm, and that's out of bounds. I didn't have the best angle on that one, but it looked like she tried to get a tool off the block.
Yeah, and the ball was set a little bit tight too, so she was definitely reaching for it, and so she was kind of out of her own body alignment, and so it was definitely a stretch for her as well.
Thompson in, Sant to the bench. Kristen Erland also back on the court for St. Mary's. Lawson again swinging straight back out of the middle, and that one into the block, off the pin and out of bounds. Point for St. Mary's, and Coach Burton off the bench going to call a timeout. And now the down referee, Marcia Costley, talking with Rob Browning, and I think it's about the bench players trying to stay off the court on their side. Coach Burton calling the timeout. Her team trails by 3, 18-15. Gales lead in set number 3. We'll be right back inside the Child Center on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Child Center. There's a look at Emma Sweat, freshman, who's been hitting incredibly well for the Pilots. Gets another chance, a deep push, no touch.
Great idea, though.
Before that, though, she had 9 kills on 11 attacks. She was hitting .727, swinging out of her mind, but she'll pick up her second error there, and the Gales push that lead to 4. They'll feed her again into the block, and too fast for Lawson to pop it up.
It's tough. I mean, her pass is there, but she's got to drop that inside shoulder to get that ball more onto the right side of the court. The setter's having to run clear across the court to try to set that up. And then her only option is outside to Emma.
Set up for Helm, deep cross. The line ref says it was in over here, but out of bounds on the Portland side of the line ref, and a timeout called by Portland. As they trail 21-15, they trail by 6 here in set number 3. 1 set apiece for each side. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Alicina Thompson back to serve for St. Mary's after the timeout called by Portland. They've gone through their 2 timeouts here in set number 3 as they trail by 6. Out of the middle, Lawson, the solo block, and the Gales able to pop it up and send a free ball over. Lawson again out of the middle, but a huge solo block by Trinity Durfee. She picks up her 25th block on the season.
And Brian, you talked about earlier that that's one of the skills that St. Mary's is so good at, is blocking in the middle. Starting to show in this match.
And that one directly at Lawson, tried to get out of the way, but that's an ace. 23-15 now for the Gales. And the other thing, we saw Coach Burton before the timeout talking to Lawson about picking sides, but now we've seen 3 straight hits from her out of the middle, go straight back instead of picking a side. There's a tip. Another great set by Knudsen into the block and out of bounds. The tool for the Gales. Bang, bang plays up at the net, and now it's set point 24-15 for St. Mary's. Mowo to Zilbert, Sweat off the block. And the Gales will send a free ball over. Sweat again into the block, Lawson covers. And that one will end up in the scores table and end set number 3, 25-15. And the Gales take a 2-1 lead over the Pilots, 25-15. We'll be right back for set number 4 inside the Child Center on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Child Center. Brian Slyke, Carly Jumanen with your call as we head to set 4. The Gales lead 2-1. The upcoming schedule for the Pilots, they go on a small road trip after today's match. They head to Provo to take on number 19 BYU, and then they take on San Diego. And then they come back home to the Child Center where they'll take on Santa Clara and San Francisco in 2 matches that I think should be very winnable for the Pilots. San Francisco in a rut, you could say, with a coaching change right before the season, a couple players leaving. So the Pilots try to pick up a few dubs in the next couple of weeks. But right now they got to focus on set number 4 here. And Carly, what did you see, what would you like to see going into set 4 differently for the Pilots?
I'd like to see just stronger serve receive. So taking care of the ball, limiting those errors in the back row, and then hopefully having their hitters moving the ball around a little bit, doing more of those off-speed placement shots, along with hitting some sharper angles and things like that. Seeing the block and utilizing what is given in defense from St. Mary's.
Well, McKenna Joyce will serve. Sophomore from Chico, California. And another ace, 15 now for the Gales. Granted, the Pilots have done a much better job as this match has gone along. They had 9 aces in the first set for the Gales. Since then, though, they've limited it to 6 over the last 2 sets. Held off the dome!
Man, does she get up? What it looked like it redirected off somebody's head right there.
Yep, off the middle blocker. Now Harris back to serve. Chest shot. And a net violation, and that one goes on Gianna Lawson. Such a tough break on those calls. And the rules have changed throughout the years. It used to be you couldn't touch the bottom of the net, couldn't touch any part of the net, and they're back to you can't touch anything.
Can't touch anything, and you can't step on the line, can't go all the way over. It's just so many rule changes.
Roll shot, Bowman there. Sweat able to pop it up. Zilbert sends a free ball over. Back set to Harrer, the tool off the block. Gales trying to pick up the win here. Coming in, these two teams, despite the youngness of the Pilots squad, the back set to Helm off the block, kept alive by Reed, and that'll drop for a Pilot point. But both these teams played Gonzaga with vastly different outcomes. The Pilots swept Gonzaga in 3. Meanwhile, St. Mary's fell to the Zags on Thursday, 3-1. That kind of makes you wonder what was happening in that match that differed.
Right.
Lawson trying to go deep on the serve past the end line. And a service error. Error is out. Thompson is in. Sant to the bench. And coming out is Kristen Irwin. Thompson with 5 aces. It's a new career high for her. Back out to Sweat. The tip off the pin, out of bounds.
That set looked a little higher. Her Emma's timing was just a little bit off to where she was falling in her approach as she tipped that ball.
Harmon out of the middle. Knudsen on the dig. Deep swing and out of bounds.
It looks like St. Mary's too. Anything that they're sending over, they're really doing a nice job of taking out Portland's setter out of the rotation. Then they're having to scramble to create an offense without their setter taking the second ball.
Sweat, Helm, and Harmon swinging for the Pilots. The back set to Helm. She gets the kill. What a push by Bowman to get it to the right side pin. She had to get a lot of push on that one, getting her feet underneath her to get that push back.
Yeah.
The dig by Zilbert. Helm behind the 10-foot line. Feeds Sweat off the block. The roll shot no good for Reed.
Looks like both teams are really trying to key in on some of those off-speed roll shots, finding the spots, but she just mishandled that one.
Quick set out of the middle. Touched by the Pilots, and the scrappy play sends a free ball over. Mumowo had the dig, and a violation, net violation on the Pilots. Couldn't see who they had called that one on. And Ashley Reed now back to serve with a 3-point lead. Pilots trying to pick up their second conference win after beating Gonzaga to open up conference play. And a tool, Bowman getting the kill off the block. We're seeing Paloma Bowman be a bit more effective in today's match compared to what we saw against Pacific, where she was hitting in the negatives. She'd been fed 11 or 12 times, only had 1 kill. And this time around, she's starting to feel herself more. 5 kills on 15 swings.
That beach play is coming out.
And Zilbert happy she didn't make any connection on that one. Sailed out of bounds. St. Mary's hitting well above their season average.
It's a nice, strong serve.
And
St. Mary's couldn't handle it.
yeah, they called an over on that one. So for those of you at home, Thompson is currently in the back row. She broke the plane to the net. Harmon went up to make a block. And because she made contact, that counts as an over. And that's why the Pilots got the serve, but they give it up after an error. St. Mary's hitting .282 on the day. They average hitting .216 on the season. Push to the outside to Harris. And a double violation called on the Pilots.
We talked about that rotation, and it just looked like the ball came out a little bit funny. Sounded good, didn't look so good.
Knudsen gets the let point. Hits the top of the tape and rolls over. There's absolutely nothing you can do about that. But also a lucky serve, because you can't always get that bounce.
Yes, the net can be unforgiving at times.
Good pass by Harris to start the play. Bowman, and that's a kill for Bowman. Count it. Blocked off of her shoulder, back over the net, and she gets the point.
He's like, yep, I meant to do that.
All planned out. Pilots trailing by 2 here in set 4. Trying to force a 5th set in today's contest. Thompson at the net. Set to Christensen. Murioka in the right spot. Lawson on a joust. The roll shot. Helm got to it and just out of the reach of a diving Jade Harris. Point for St. Mary's. These two teams right now playing some scrappy volleyball.
Absolutely.
Thompson and Irwin to the bench. Sant and Christensen on the court. Harris, she goes line, setters out. Harrer high off the block, Zilbert stays with it. The back set, Bowman has to come off the net for it. Good spot though.
Takes the setter out.
And that ball's over. Down the line and a kill. Like Christensen on the far side. And I want to talk about one of the plays right there. It looked like Boulard wanted to touch it, but Knudsen was able to get that free ball, or the overpass, excuse me, off of Helm's hit. And that's what set up that entire play. First with that pass. Lawson can't get to it, another ace.
We are definitely getting lucky there. A lot of those let serves like that tip the net and just roll right over.
Coach Burton not happy with what she's seeing as St. Mary's on a 3-0 run. They take a 13-8 lead here in set number 4. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Child Center. Brian Slyke, Carly Dumanin with your call. Set number 4. St. Mary's leads 2 sets to 1, and they currently lead set 4 13-8. On the high bump pass to Harris. And off the block, looked like she was splitting Harrer and Laird. And for a team that's normally so sure-handed closing blocks, there's been a couple windows.
And she's definitely utilized that where she's just sneaking it right in the seam of the block, which is where the weakness is.
Aggressive serve from Bowman. Laird out of the middle. We've seen her tip so many times, and then this time she comes around.
And she comes in at an approach where she looks like she's going to be hitting cross court, and she just turns her body in the air and just rotates so sharply and hits it to the right side. It just surprises UP's setter.
Joyce, the short serve, Lawson there for it. Out to Helm. Man, she's skies high. Tipped by Reed. This one's in the middle of the net, and Helm smartly pushes it over. Zilbert on the dig. Dumped by Bowman. Harrer cross court, Bowman with the dig, set her out. Push to the outside, Reed, and Zilbert got her hand on it to flex it into the crowd, and a 6-point lead for St. Mary's.
Looked like that was ball was going out, and she was reaching for it, but I think she might have saw a tip off the block. But when you get so sucked into the court, right, it's hard to know where the end line is, so you have to reach back sometimes to get those balls.
And aced again. The Pilots go down for the 18th time off the serve. And I want to expound upon what you were just talking about. It's a split-second decision. You think you saw it hit the hand, you need to go and touch it. And a tough play for Zilbert in the back row. Lost it out of the middle.
Here we go.
Peter, she passed it. She might as well finish it off.
Yes. Taking a little tip from Laird in the middle. Do the same action back to them. Cutting it back at their setter.
Harris, the junior outside hitter, serving. She gets an ace. That's her second ace of the afternoon. Knudsen passed close to the net. Reed off of Zilbert's platform and out of bounds, so a kill for the Gales. As Trinity Durfee comes back on the court, going back to serve, is Jennifer Boo Laird. Mumolo got her fists underneath it. Sweat gets the kill off the block. And she's been cutting it a lot more too. If she doesn't have that seam to really go line or hit back middle, she's been cutting that hard cross.
And she's doing a nice job of when she goes in for her approach, she's looking at those hands. She sees that completed or closed block. So she's trying to slice that angle around.
Lawson serving. Back to Harrer. That one went off the hands and falls in the back end of the court. 6-point lead. Thompson comes into the game. Harrer to the bench along with Sant, and coming back out is number 5, Kristen Irwin. Harmon out of the middle. What a set by Bowman. She set it from the 10-foot line and got a quick up to Harmon at the net and ends up in a kill for the Pilots. I don't think people realize how hard it is to time that quick up when you're so far off the net with your middle.
Or how tough a setter's job is.
Right?
Right?
Irwin, roll ball over. Oh! Harmon! Thompson just saving face on that one. Another look at it.
It looked like the blocker was even reaching over. She could see her rotating, but she just couldn't even reach hard enough.
Thompson sets at the net. Into the block of Harmon! And the timeout called by St. Mary's as the Pilots, they're back within 3. Chelsea Harmon leading the way with a kill and a block and back-to-back points. 18-15, St. Mary's leads in set number 4. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Child Center. Look at Nolani Helm back to serve for the Pilots. Portland on a 3-0 run. They currently trail by 3, and that's an overpass. Feed it to Sweat. She's got the hot hand and another kill. 11 kills on a career day so far for Emma Sweat.
Oh.
Wow, she fit it through the window of the block and got
the middle blocker's hands.
Right over Durfee. Durfee, this time goes across her body, sends it out of bounds. The Pilots don't look now, they're back within 1.
Don't count them out yet.
It's a 5-0 run for Portland. And Irwin sends this one out, and I don't know if you saw my face, bit of confusion right there. You cut off your libero, who's arguably your best passer on the court, and some miscommunication right there by Reed and Knudsen. And we've got ourselves a tie ball game, 18-all in set 4. Back set. Reed swings deep and long, and the Pilots on a 7-0 run now, and they take a 1-point lead. And if the Pilots get another point here, you have to guess that Coach Browning would probably call a timeout.
Either that or a strategic shoe tie.
Well put, as Irwin sends a free ball over. Back set, Bowman, the tip into the middle of the court. Again, Irwin, that one's out of bounds. Pilots now working with a 2-point lead. And timeout called by St. Mary's, just as we predicted. The Pilots, who are on an 8-0 run, they currently lead 20-18. We'll be right back inside the Child Center on the WCC Network. Look at Emma Sweat, the former Washington Gatorade Player of the Year freshman with a career-high 11 kills. on the day. Previous high was 8 that she set against Grand Canyon. Close to an overpass. There's Durfee. This time the jump on that one. Sweat coming down. And a net violation. It looked like on Durfee of the Gales, so the Pilots get the point.
First I thought it was on the Pilots, and I was like, no!
It has happened to see that. It has happened to UP 2 or 3 times already in this match. And now we've got the down ref, Marcia Costley, coming over. Correction, net violation on Portland now.
That's what I was worried about. It looked, I thought I saw the ref call it in the net for Portland, and I was like, oh, but you see this great attack by Emma, and I'm like, oh.
It's tough as Paloma Bowman trying to get an explanation from the up ref. Harmon, Sweat, and Bowman swinging for the Pilots. 1-point match, 20-19. The middle to Harmon, another kill!
Beautiful pass by Zilbert there to set that up.
Been so effective out of the middle.
Just wish we could get her the ball more.
It's her 7th kill on 10 swings. Into the block! And they say out of bounds. Coach Burton wants a touch. She's immediately grabbing her challenge card. She is 2 for 2, so she's kept her challenges.
I mean, why not roll the dice again, right?
And I think she's saying that there was a touch on the way down on the hitter. Looked like it might have gone on the shoulder, and then you've got the ball bouncing right there. Now, that's not the best angle because the camera's on this side, so you can't tell if it landed on that sideline. But I think I like the idea, though, for Coach Burton. You know, she's trying to get that extra point for her team. And you know what? She listens to her squad so much out on the court. They tell her when they really feel like that they got a point, and she backs them up almost every single time. And here she's trying to get that point. And it was a close one off the block. Here's another look at it.
Oh, it does kind of look like it goes off of her shoulder.
Possibly off of her shoulder. Maybe a small redirection.
Yeah. It's funny watching them go backwards.
It's so close, and it's hard to tell.
I don't know if it's going to be definitive enough for them to...
Yeah, I don't think so either. And it looks like they're already done as Marcia Costley going over to the scores table. I don't think they're going to overturn it just because of how close it was. And no, they did. Well, there's a reason why I'm behind the mic and not looking at the screen over there. Here's another look, this time from the Pilots side. And yep, you get a clear view off the shoulder right there. And Megan Burton, 3 for 3 on the challenges today.
She needs to buy a lottery ticket.
Right? Murray-Oka, the deep serve, taken by Reed. Pushed out to Christensen, roll shot, Helm is out. And a tool for Harris. She gets it off of Irwin. And the Pilots, 23-19, 2 points away from forcing a set 5. Thompson sets to the outside to Christensen. Murray-Oka trying to cross behind. Zilbert got a hand on it, but unable to pop it up. 3-point lead for the Pilots in set 4. Kelsey Knudsen back to serve. Off the top of the tape. She's gotten lucky a couple of times.
Yeah.
Not that time, though.
Portland will gladly take that.
And you look at the attacking errors that just popped down on your screen. Portland has been leading that category significantly, and now St. Mary's catching up, and the ace from Grace Zilbert to close it out. Zilbert on the ace. The Pilots take set 4. We're tied at 2 sets apiece. As we head to set number 5, we'll be back in a couple of minutes on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Child Center. We were talking about how the Pilots looked a bit stiff in set one. They look a bit more loose now in the team huddle.
Yeah, getting into it.
As they've forced a set 5. That's Gianna Lawson and Emma Sweat getting
Breaking
their
a
moves
sweat.
in. Yeah, right? Let's take a look at some of the stats through today's contest. The kills relatively evenly matched, 43 for Portland, 41 for St. Mary's. The errors have been an issue for Portland, though. They currently lead that category by 5. But overall, the aces are a bit skewed after that first set, but a well-even match between these two. Carly, your thoughts?
Absolutely. I was just asking him, like, who's going to come out and serve the strongest, because that's what I've noticed has been a huge impact in this game. The serving and serve receive.
Right now, the Pilots have been on point in the even set matches. In the odd set matches, though, it's been all Gales. You see it right there, 25-10 and 25-15 in sets 1 and 3. Set 5 does go to 15. Normally, you would switch at 8 points, but with COVID, neither team is switching sides, as you've noticed throughout the match.
Why you have a better angle at watching the Pilots, I have a better angle at watching St. Mary's.
As Boo Laird will start out on the bench in this 5th set. Error, Christensen, Sant, Durfee, Reed out on the court for St. Mary's. Bowman, Murioka, Zilbert, Helm, Harris, and Lawson for the Pilots. High set for Harrer. That one's high. She gets her own touch. The back set to Helm. The back row crossing each other. Oh my goodness!
Great set choice, mixing it up, setting each one of their hitters. And St. Mary's just not reacting fast enough.
And it looked like the middle blocker wasn't up in time. Bowman, great cross-court serve right there. Harrer into the block, Murioka in the right spot. In the middle to Watson. Ooh, the tip saved by Harrer. Murioka, another dig. Harris the tip, trying to get the 2 off the block. Harrer again, Murioka the dive! And Harris too strong on that one.
Looking for high hands. Oh. What great defense from Murioka.
I was going to say, the freshman from Honolulu right now throwing her body on the court, getting to those balls.
Oh, yes.
Great play by the freshman. And the Pilots are rewarded with a service error. Jade Harris will go back to serve. Emma Sweat comes in for Alyssa Murioka. Harris has been the workhorse, for this Pilots team all season. Long swing from Christensen out of bounds, and the Pilots hold a 3-1 lead here in set 5. Last season, they only had 2 match wins during that abbreviated spring season. Here, they're trying to pick up their 2nd conference win and their 5th match win on the season. That one looked like it went outside the antenna. The roll shot from Helm, and the ball don't lie.
Yep.
4-1 lead now. Jade Harris back to serve again. Oh, the ace!
It's nice to see her spreading the love the other way.
Right? Jade has been picked on a few times early in this match, and now she delivers her 3rd ace. She's 1 away from tying her season high. Set out of the middle, Laird! Hammers one down, touched by the Pilots.
When they take care of the ball and they get a set to Laird, that's hard to defend.
Mumolo checking into the back row. Jade Harris will head to the bench. Meanwhile, Olosina Thompson checking in. Harrer and Sant will head to the bench.
This is a rotation they want to get out of quickly.
Sweat will swing behind the 10-foot line. She got a touch on the block. Thompson out to Christensen. and found the back corner. Zilbert couldn't get to it.
A nice deep roll shot. Hidden quite well.
Thompson with 5 aces. She set her new career high coming into today. Previous high was 1 ace, and now she's got 6 of them. And you talked about it just literally a couple moments ago. Getting out of this rotation has almost been the Achilles heel for the Pilots team today. Thompson, a career day from the service line. Back set to Helm into the block. Zilbert had a hand on it, but now we've got ourselves a tie ball game here in set 5. It's 5-all. Both teams looking for their second conference win on the season. Short serve. Out to Sweat. She's had the hot hand and blocked. This time by Irwin and Durfee. And now they've all evened it back up. At one point, the Pilots had a blocking lead of 4-1. Now it's 7 blocks each. Deep serve, Mumowo staying with it. Roll from Helm. Back to Christensen. She rolls herself, Sweat on the dig. Push by Bowman. Nuts and a beautiful back set from the libero.
Not much you can do there.
No, you can't, but you gotta hand it to Paloma Bowman right there, getting that soft block. Looked like she even dropped down and put a flat platform with her hands.
Yes.
Because if she would have gone up and tried to go for a block, it'd technically be a back row attack. Now Helm will tie her shoe as they get some of the sweat off the court. The break comes at 8 points. Whichever team gets there first. Right now the Gales lead 7-5 in set 5. Tight set, and Lawson just able to tip it over. They get the point. I don't think that's how they drew it up, but they'll take it.
Yes, I think there's a little bit of an exhale of relief right there. Just that one-handed set.
Yeah, Bowman just able to stay with it. She's done that a couple of times in today's contest, saving it from an overpass. And Lawson comes back with a service error into the net. And it's an immediate timeout. St. Mary's first team to 8 here in set number 5. We'll be right back. First one to 15 takes the contest on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Child Center. Brian Slight, Carly Dumanin with your call. Set number 5. The Pilots currently trailing by 2 to St. Mary's, but these two teams trading blows here in the 5th set, and they've been trading sets all match. Sets 1 and 3 went to St. Mary's. Sets 2 and 4 went to the Pilots. McKenna Joyce serving. Middle Chelsea Harmon. Harmon picking up her 8th kill on 11 swings. and it pays off to have great passing.
Yes, hopefully Pilots can utilize her a little bit more in these 3 rotations.
Thompson from the 10-foot line sets the middle to Boulard. Mumolo diving to save it. Sweat into the block. It's saved. Mumolo again. With the high pass, Helm sends a free ball over. Irwin, long, and we're tied up at 8. Look for the serve to go to the libero here. Irwin. And Helm was in the right spot. Bowman chasing it down, but the point for the Gales, and they now lead 9-8. Boulard back to serve, arguably the most effective player on St. Mary's side of the net. He's got 9 kills, no errors on 14 total attacks. Like the play from Bowman, trying to go line. Now Reed comes in, runs into the wall of Sweat and Harmon. There really wasn't much that she could do with the ball being closer to the net. She probably would have liked. And you know what, even Sweat was a tad late on that block.
Just kind of worked for her advantage there.
Into Irwin, cross court, that one's in. Ooh. I don't blame the hesitation on the far side of the court. Irwin has been erratic, swinging on the right side.
But she needed that one to make up for some of the others.
Ella Sant, the sophomore from Western Springs, was going back to serve, and now she had not officially checked in, so Harrer checking in along with Sant. And Sant now back to serve. First one to 15. Now, if they get to 14, they have to win by 2. Great up by Murioka. And they called a double on the Pilots. Tough break for Portland. 11-9, St. Mary's leads. Zilbert will get the second touch. Harris down the line, that's a touch.
Great decision by Zilbert to jump in there and take that ball, set up her teammate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it made it much easier for the setter not having to run all the way to the cross court. And what about Harris going line instead of trying to cut cross that time? Off the top of the net. Push to the outside. Harris gets blocked. Harris sends a deep roll. Helm pushes it to Harris, cross court, out of bounds.
Oh.
Back to a 2-point lead for St. Mary's.
I swear though, Brian, I have seen more balls rolling over the top of the net and serves than I've ever seen in a regular game. It's crazy.
It's gonna hurt one of these teams sooner or later.
Yes.
Ashley Reed serving. That's deep, and that's out. Pilots staying alive here in set 5, trailing by 1.
I don't think I have any nails left.
Paloma Bowman serving. Back set to Harrer. Zilbert had a hand on it and out of bounds after the touch.
What a great set, though. I mean, it was a low pass, and she had to really dip down to be able to keep that ball legal to set it backwards.
And a timeout called by Coach Burton. And that'll lead us to a break. 13-11. We've got a tight one here in set number 5 between Portland and St. Mary's. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. A career day for 2 Pilots so far, but right now they trail by 2. Trailing 13-11. Kelsey Knudsen serves. Lawson, that's tight to the net. Bowman trying to save it. And we'll see if they call an over on that one. There's no call from either referee. And there's confusion. Bowman in the back row, she tried to save it. Now, I didn't see St. Mary's touch the ball. I saw them hit Bowman's hand possibly, but she stayed on her side of the net.
Yeah.
And that should be okay.
And she brought it back to her side.
Correct. So we'll see what the down ref is going to call. Yeah, and never really broke the plane of the net, I didn't see.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like if she's above them, she can be above the net as long as it doesn't go over.
Correct. She stayed on her side.
If anything,
Now,
they're breaking the plane.
It is a tough angle because the camera is technically on the left side of the net, so it's a bit skewed, but you know what? It goes the Pilot's way. And they'll pick up that point. And Coach Browning now wanting an explanation on that last play.
You could just base it on it's more exciting this way.
Keeps the match closer.
Yes.
But again, on this look, Paloma's not reaching over the net at any point. She stayed on her side. Now, the other player is allowed to go up and go block.
But they're not allowed.
But they can't be touching her on that side of the net.
Yeah, they can't go over the net. The setter has to have a full opportunity to set the second ball. So her reaching over the net, a lot of the times the refs will call over on the defensive side because they are impending or intruding on the setter's ability to set that second ball.
So it works out for the Pilots, and now the down referee, Marcia Costley, talking with the scorekeeper. If you're the Pilots, you're thrilled with how this match has gone, especially with how the first set went in a 25-10 beatdown by St. Mary's with plenty of errors, aces for the Gales. But they turned it around. Set 2 ended up winning. Set 3.
Everybody loves a comeback.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on.
Set 3 again went the Gales' way. They won 25-15, and then Portland winning set 4 to force set 5 now. Now they trail by 1. And here's one more look. Again, she's on her own side of the net, and you see the reach over by Christensen on the far side for St. Mary's.
And don't take it away from Jade. She has a beautiful strategic place ball.
She finished it off, yeah. It looks like they're still looking at the replay.
Oh, did he use one of his challenge cards?
He may have.
I did not see the sacred card.
I didn't see the card. I didn't hear it overhead through the PA system. And Marcia Costley again going over to the scorekeeper on that one. I talked about 2 Pilots having career days. As Emma Sweat has a new career high in kills, she has 11. And then Chelsea Harmon, a new career high with 8 kills. Her previous high was 7 that she had against Montana State. And they called over, by the way, on Christensen is what the call was. So 13-12, Pilots trail. Harris serves. Laird tipping again. She's been so deadly out of the middle.
Seriously, I was telling Brian earlier, I was like, they just need to keep them out of system to keep the ball out of Laird's hands.
As Harrer and Sant head to the bench, and now your least favorite rotation if you're the Pilots, you're trailing by 2. You're trying to get to 14. You got to win by 2 at that point, but Thompson, who has been lights out from the service line, now back to serve as a timeout's called. But Thompson with 6 aces on the afternoon, a new career high. We'll take a break. 14-12, St. Mary's holding on to that 2-point lead on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Child Center. Match point. Alicina Thompson back to serve. She's got 6 aces on the afternoon. Mumoa, the overpass, down. Zilver got a hand on it. That's another tight one up at the net. Sweat can't get to it, and that's the ball game. An overpass on the serve. St. Mary's capitalizing, and they get the point and take set 5, 15-12, and take the match 3-2. And Carly, a closely contested game. Played well on both sides. What were your thoughts on this afternoon's matchup?
Honestly, I feel like that St. Mary's just outserved University of Portland, and they just overcame. As far as serve receive, Portland at times took care of the ball, but you could see it just wasn't enough for how well St. Mary's was serving tonight.
That's Carly Dumanin. I'm Brian Slyke. Thank you for joining our broadcast inside the Child Center on the WCC Network. We'll catch you next time